I've always been interested in the sky. So ever since I was little, I would stand outside, blanket tied around my neck, absolute superhero style, and I would try to take off. Exploring what else was out there, when I learned about how vast the universe was, I really felt like there was so much unexplored territory, and there is. And I've always just been interested in learning more about it. And interestingly enough, when I was in college, I veered away from space. I got really into airplanes. I was like, that's going to be my thing. That's the only thing I'm interested in. That's the direction. And the interesting thing about saying I'm never going to do something is how life will bring you these opportunities that just absolutely change your world. And that was when I entered into 3D printing, the 3D printing role for satellites, and just absolutely opened my mind. Then I went into the reflectors, learning about composites and really how satellites are keeping us connected, especially in crazy times like now. I took advice from somebody in college. I had a mentor slash mama bear that worked at University of Michigan. And at the end of the year, all of her mentees, she would sit us all down. Mama Birch, we would call her Mrs. Birch. She would sit us all down and give us advice. And everyone left with this profound, beautiful things that she said. And she sat me down and I was so excited to hear what she had to say. And she's like, Sydney, you keep doing exactly what you do and all the things that you love. And I was like, that's it? No life-changing direction and she's like, no. That I sat down and thought long and hard for you specifically. But, at the time it wasn't as exciting. But what happened was I did exactly what she said. I love giving back to the community. So when I joined Boeing, I figured out how I can work with Boeing and do a lot for the community. I really enjoy helping people. And really the aerospace industry, maybe it's not the first thing that comes to mind for people, but it's really an industry that's focused on helping people. We help everyone stay connected with their families and friends and loved ones. We protect, we explore and find new things for the world. And so that want and drive to help someone really aligned with the work that I do at Boeing. So I did exactly the things that I love to do. And it makes things so much better because I enjoy my work and I'm proud of it and I can share that. So I would tell people, find what you love and really dive in. And also make sure you're having mentors along the way who can mentor you through these moments. And then also have sponsors who will pull you up and say your name and think of you exactly when those moments and opportunities arise so that you can join in and be in those big conversations. I would tell myself that it's okay to change your mind when new information is presented. Sometimes we go into situations saying, this is how it's going to happen. And we've told people that's our goal, that's what we want to do. And you feel nervous about changing direction or changing your mind. So you stay in a place just because of an arbitrary, I said I was going to do airplanes forever, so I'm going to stay and do airplanes forever. But the reality is there's so many more opportunities under the aerospace umbrella. And I wouldn't have been able to work on the amazing projects that I'm working on now if I would have said, no, I can't change my mind with new information and new opportunities. So I think that at the beginning, I came in a little too firm on exactly what I'm going to do, especially when there's so many opportunities in aerospace, especially at all these large companies. Don't sell yourself short by telling yourself you can only do this one thing and that's who you are, because you can be defined in so many different ways in so many opportunities. And I felt in the right place in all the different roles that I've been at. So that's what I would tell myself is it's okay to change your mind and it's okay to change directions when given new information. I am big on mentorship. I know we've definitely talked about it today, but to re-emphasize the importance of it, I think that for me, I have so many mentors in different places. I'm like, oh, I like the way that this person writes. I'll have them mentor me on writing. I like the way this person presents. So I'll have them help me with presentations. And I think a lot of people don't understand how important mentorship is and representation. So a big part of my mentorship is representation. When I was growing up, I didn't see a lot of aerospace engineers that looked like me. And that was hard. And if we were to take it even further back, when I was young, I struggled to understand that I could be a princess because none of the princesses looked like me on TV. And my parents were like, oh, my little princess. So I understood that I could be a princess, but there was a disconnect. And I think as a child, I didn't understand that I lacked the representation in media to see myself in that light. And I want to make sure that I'm mentoring in that way so that people can see themselves in leadership positions, in the aerospace industry, in the nonprofit space, all these different things. I want to make sure people can see themselves. And whether it's the way I styled my hair or because I have a mole in the same place, which is a true story. A young girl said, we have the same mole. And I was like, we do. And that's what inspired her. So you need mentors that look different because you never know how you're going to actually connect and resonate with different people. But for what I do, so I'm an ambassador for the American Association of the Advancement of Science. If then ambassador is what we're called. If she can see it, then she can be it. So we're creating a pipeline for young girls to be exposed to STEM opportunities and STEM careers so they can understand and see themselves and be inspired to pursue that if that's the thing that they love. So not to have fear behind it. I guess my motivation is I would hate for someone to ever feel like they couldn't be a princess or a CEO. And so I want to make sure that no one goes through that experience, or at least if we cross paths, I'm here to encourage and inspire, to let you know that whatever path that you're going on, you're in the right place, and that's okay because there is space for everyone. So I think that's my motivation for mentorship. The biggest lesson would be to know my value. There are a lot of people that will say a lot of different things to you, and always cheerleaders, and then there's always people that have hesitations, and you never know what their experience is as to why they are expressing those hesitations to you. I definitely took to heart when I first started that people consistently said, you're not technical enough, but I could never get someone to explain what that means. I was an engineer, I was doing the work, I was getting great responses from my leads, but people say, oh, you're not technical enough. Eventually I learned that what people were trying to say is you need to put your time in before you can do certain things, which may or may not be true depending on what the actual item is. But it made me really question my technical capabilities. And so I wouldn't always try for opportunities because I felt, oh, well, I want someone that's technical enough to do that. And then I would see the person who got it and I was like, I helped you with the very thing that you're doing. Okay, interesting. Huh. You get these, like, you have these moments where you're like, oh, I didn't apply for that, but actually, I helped you with that. Oh, I didn't try this, but actually, now I'm the one that's supporting you on this because I'm the one that has the expertise in it. And I had to value what I actually brought to the table. And once I could take that mental bridge between people want to protect you and can be really well intended, have really good intent. However, sometimes you're just going to have to take that leap and be confident in what you know. And that's what I had to do to get into management, was that, Sydney, are you going to be technical enough to manage all these different projects? And especially in this role that I am now, it's very reflective of everything I've done. And so to still hear someone say, Sydney, I don't know. I was like, I feel very good about this role. I know the team already. I know the work that they do. I've done it myself. And I was like, you have to learn to take things with a grain of salt and don't take criticism from people that you wouldn't take advice from. Because there are some people that, maybe they just don't always have something positive to say. And again, take it with a grain of salt. Maybe there's some truth in there. But if you're not looking for advice from that person, they may not be the best person to give you that critical feedback that you're looking for, because they may be coming from a different place. I will say unbiasedly, I love the fact that we're using 3D printed parts in space. We can 3D print using aerospace grade metals, which a lot of people don't know. And so we've made RF antennas out of 3D printed metal. And you're reducing the weight, you're reducing the cost. It can be faster, depending on the design, but it can be faster. And again, it's more efficient. And you can do such intricate designs. I think it's one of the most incredible parts of the aerospace industry that's happening now. It's emerging, it's big. The things that I've seen that we've been doing are absolutely incredible. Outside of that, I'd probably say I love that we're getting into the nanosat space. My material science teacher in college told me, you're only as good as your best material. And so that tells me that we're actually advancing in our material. My second love will be material science. I'm so sorry, aerospace, but that is my second love. But I love that the two work well together. But it just says that we're advancing in our materials, we're advancing in our technology, and the way that we can change the way that we operate using nanosets, I think is going to be incredible, and it's more accessible to people. I do hope that we continue to look at how we're impacting space as we're doing this, though, including how continue to brainstorm on how we're going to clean up space junk and keeping that area clean so that we have safe satellites up there that aren't in danger of another dead satellite coming by. And so that's probably more than one. So space junk, nanosats, and 3D printing and satellites. For space, I think that we are in a really good place. We're gathering the data, we're executing, we're starting to look at what does it look like to have primary structure 3D printed? How do we get this approved? What do we need to do? What testing? We have a lot more data than we think. I think it can be used a lot more. We use it for tooling, which is fantastic, but I think that we can continue to push that boundary. And like I said, it was in Space Week, we had an RF 3D printed antenna attached to the satellite, and it was sent up. So we're making big moves and big waves. And so I think it's a matter of continuing to push the boundaries of innovation and really being willing to put that investment in to see how we can continue to grow and incorporate 3D printing into our builds.